Here we find the people's righteous and bold initiative of the second Passover, Pesach Sheni, the divine signs of cloud and fire that accompanied the tabernacle throughout the desert and the journeys of the ark. Yet we also find expressions of doubt in God and baseless complaining and a contrived fake craving for meat and Lashon Hara against Moshe. Indeed, Parshat Baalotcha is a narrative of movement and spiritual disruption and revelation. It feels fragmented, but beneath the surface of its varied stories lies a unified message, namely, the wilderness is not a place of divine absence, but of divine encounter. So open up your heart. In the midst of it all, we find a story that ostensibly might appear to be of minor importance. Two seemingly insignificant men who happen to receive an unprecedented spirit of prophecy. The story of Eldad and Medad is one of the most overlooked yet spiritually explosive moments in the Torah. In just 5 verses, we encounter profound lessons of radical humility, divine intimacy, and a redemptive message of hope for the future of Israel and the world. For our generation, thirsty, searching, and often unsure of where we fit in, this story is like a life-giving spring of clear water hidden in the desert. So let's understand the sequence of events that leads up to this remarkable episode. As chapter 11 opens, we learn of people who are complaining. The cause of their complaint is unspecified, and our sages indicate that this was the instigation of wicked individuals who simply sought a reason to rebel against God. Torah tells us that their act of complaining was evil in the ears of Hashem, and the verse informs us that they were immediately punished by a fire of Hashem that burned against them, ultimately quelled by Moshe's prayer. This incident was followed by an explicit discontentment with the monotony of the miraculous manna. The rabble, that is the mixed multitude, cultivated, that is fabricated, a craving for meat, and this spirit of dissatisfaction spread to the ranks of the children of Israel, who wept over their nostalgic and false memories in which they romanticized the free food they received in Egypt. This never happened. They weren't given free food in Egypt. It was total distortion taking place in their minds. So Moshe becomes overwhelmed, and he speaks with desperation, and he says to Hashem, "Did I conceive this entire people, or did I give birth to it? Where should I get meat to feed this entire people who weep to me? Kill me now," Moshe says, "if I have found favor in your eyes." So in a simplistic reading, this appears to mark a sort of spiritual nadir for Moshe. He speaks with rawness, facing the nearly unbearable human burden of leadership. But Rashi shares the knowledge that God had shown Moshe a vision of the retribution that would shortly befall the people on account of this episode. Ever dedicated to his people, Moshe's true intention with these words was, "If that's your plan, please kill me now so that I won't see their suffering, because that would be too much for me to bear." In response, Hashem commands Moshe to gather 70 of Israel's elders, telling Moshe that he will increase his spirit upon Moshe and place some of that spirit upon these men, thus enabling them to share in Moshe's burden of leadership. This was the true prototype, the founding, as it were, of the great court of the Sanhedrin. And it marks the first time Hashem shares Moshe's prophetic spirit with others in order to assist in carrying his leadership burden. And then God addresses the second problem, the craving for meat. He promises that meat will be provided, but with wrath. He says, not for one day, but for a full month, and this will lead to plague and suffering. Again, Moshe expresses despair. From where shall I have meat to give this people? But Hashem assures him, is the hand of Hashem limited? Now you will see whether my word comes to pass or not. So Moshe delivers these words to the people and gathers 70 men from among the elders and has them stand around the tabernacle, the tent. And verse 25 then reads, Hashem descended in a cloud and increased from the spirit that was upon Moshe and placed it upon the 70 elders. And it happened that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied, but did not continue. This is a key moment. The 70 elders receive a prophecy, but only once. They experienced a one-time prophecy as a confirmation of their appointment, not as an ongoing gift. So open up your heart in the deepest way, because then the unexpected occurs. Two men, Eldad and Medad, who had remained behind in the camp, also received the Spirit, and they began to prophesy continuously. Beginning in chapter 11 and verse 26, we read, "And two men remained behind in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the second was Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them. They had been among the recorded ones, but they had not gone out to the tent, and they prophesied in the camp. The youth ran and told Moshe, and he said, 'Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp.' Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of Moshe since his youth, spoke up and said, 'My master Moshe, imprison them.' Moshe replied, 'Are you being zealous for my sake? Would that all of Hashem's people were prophets, that Hashem would place his Spirit upon them.'" So this is the twist. Two men who remained outside this ceremonial gathering and were not included in the formal appointment of the 70 elders suddenly erupt in prophecy. And in contrast to the elders' one-time experience, it was ongoing prophecy. Why? How? Who were these men, Eldad and Medad? And what is this all about? And verse 26 emphasizes they had been among the recorded ones. Rashi explains that they had been chosen to be among the 70, but they did not go out with the others to the tent. They stayed behind and withdrew out of humility, saying that we're not worthy of greatness. And yet the Shekhinah found them where they were. According to the Midrash, because they diminished themselves, they surpassed the elders in a number of ways. Their prophecies were more powerful, seeing further into the future. The elders did not merit to enter into the land, but they did indeed enter into the land with Joshua. The elders' names are not recorded, but Eldad and Medad are singled out by Torah. The elders' prophecy abated because it was a byproduct of Moshe's spirit. As chapter 11, verse 17 states, "I will increase some of the Spirit that is upon you and place it upon them." But these two, their prophecy came directly from Hashem. So open up your heart much deeper still. What exactly was their prophecy? Do we know? The answer is yes. According to Targum Yonatan, Eldad prophesies that Moshe would pass away and Joshua would succeed him as leader and bring the nation into the land. This shocked Joshua, who, fearing that their words undermined Moshe's authority, declared, "Incarcerate them," seeking to protect Moshe's honor. But this prophecy delighted Moshe, who, in his unmatched humility, used the opportunity to express his longing for universal prophecy, responding, "Would that all of Hashem's people were prophets." Meantime, Medad prophesies that the quail would indeed arrive and veritably cover the camp, but would become a great stumbling block for the people, leading to punishment. And together, Eldad and Medad both prophesied the frightening future battle of Gog and Magog, which would bring great upheaval to the world and would be followed by the resurrection of the dead. So their visions were not soothing. These were disturbing prophetic truths, destabilizing and spiritually disorienting. Think about this. Moshe is still alive, leading the people, beloved by God and the people, and two men in the camp are openly proclaiming that this is ending. His time is ending. It sounds like rebellion or insubordination.